Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Landric Plays Hand of Fate 2. Last episode we attempted the Temperance quest again and failed again, but we also unlocked a whole bunch of extra cards and extra tokens and extra equipment, so it was a relatively worthwhile run, and we certainly had fun doing it at the very least. So I think we'll give it another crack. So I've already sort of gone through our deck and sort of just shuffled out some of the ones that we'd already seen. So for example, I removed the Loan Shark because we got the token from that, and I added in the Spyglass because we start with a helmet, so we might as well try something like that, and a few other bits and pieces here and there. For example, where are we? Somewhere in here is Ariadne's, there we go, Ariadne's updated quest, so we'll see if we can give that a go if nothing else. And same for weapons and supplies. Notably, I swapped out our Worker's Hammer for the Questing Mace. They're basically about the same, but I think this token will help us progress a quest for that deadly and haunted forest, and maybe we'll get a Brimstone weapon if we can complete this. But we shall see. So I'll make a start. Hopefully we will, hopefully we'll survive. Yeah, so here goes. Shuffle those cards, give us a little bit of food, and here we go. We'll try not to murder too many helpless villagers, as we go.
At least some are keeping the old magic alive, for better or worse.
So, as before, we find out that the person that paid the assassin that tried to kill us was called Garrick, and we're going to go to Bridgemore Village to try and track him down, I guess.
Of course, in a world that has lost all of its wonder, violence, muscle, and brute strength still remain, so like the usurper in all its ways.
Indeed, indeed, indeed. So we are going to follow these farmers to try and attack this ogre, but then we get there and it turns out that he's actually quite nice. So we're going to refuse to fight, and he's going to invite us in for a lovely game of chance, or possibly skill. I don't think we need Ariadne's help for this. We'll just try our best. Almost, but not quite. But that's alright, he gives us 2 more chances, so we'll play a dice game. Any luck?
Back to the bones.
Almost, but not
I
quite.
hope you have learned to be their master.
There we go.
Well done. You continue to impress.
So we get an artifact, in fact a platinum artifact in this case, Odysseus' Charm. So I did decide to bring this with us this time, because it gives us a food bounty that gives us 1 food for every enemy we defeat within a certain time limit. Now I don't know whether defeating the farmers without killing them will count for this, and we can't use it against undead, so it may not be super useful, but then again, we can bring it with us and see what happens. I want another game, so we'll try this one as well. Maybe we'll win 2 tokens, or 2 artifacts rather.
Patience. Do not move too quickly.
Nice and easy there.
Haste breeds only failure.
Perhaps I've grown lax from sitting in the forest myself for too long. It gives us a choice of 2 items. There we go. So if we take the Pious Robes, then we don't have enough fame to wear it right now is the problem. But this will mean we don't starve from, or rather we don't take damage from starvation. We'll lose max life instead, and this can be super valuable on this one, I think, which means we can essentially give away all of our food to all of the starving villagers, and then essentially subsist on faith alone, for a little while at least. Or we could just take the Holy Purification Bomb to attack skeletons, but skeletons are relatively easy to defeat, so I think we'll take that, and we'll wear it when we can. The Fabled Beast as well, so this is another opportunity to gain food, or perhaps another token shard. So we help a warrior called Ursus, or rather we compete against a warrior called Ursus to try and kill a whole bunch of boars to save a farmer's crops. So if we get a huge success, we can track him down. So I'll use Ariadne to duplicate that huge success card. There we go. This one, huge success. So we track down the mythical beast as well. And we find him, he talks to us, he says, "Spare this old blood, blessed mortal." So let's spare him. We lower our sword, we get some fame, which will help us wear those monk's robes. The board watches you with sad red eyes before bowing cautiously. And we get a blessing for that, which is pretty useful. After all your rerolls in a dice gambit, reroll your lowest dice. That will be really good actually. And we get a token, which is always nice. I think they're only for sort of cosmetic options, but you know, it's nice to collect them all the same. So, do we beat Ursus? Well, that blessing will help us do this, so let's reroll both of these and see what we get. Okay, so we automatically reroll this one. And there we go, 15 of 15, so I guess we tied with him. Looks like a tie, the farmer announces. For ridding my land of these foul beasts, I offer you both a share of my bountiful harvest, so we get a little bit more fame, we get a little bit more food. I'm grateful to you both. My fields will be safe once more, says the farmer, embracing his precious flock of sheep. What's our inventory? Can we... Can't wear the pious robes yet? Why not? Oh, it requires 7 fame, not 5. Okay, no problem. We're almost there.
I do not tarry with these sorts of devices. They are a sign the world has lost its way.
Ariadne has left for the city slums in search of the first component of Angela's new forge, but unfortunately, she's unavailable. Hopefully, we'll be able to go back and get that. The path leads you past a remote Empire fort overlooking a well-worn road. So some soldiers leave. They pay us no attention other than to shove us out of the way. So let's go and inspect the fort and see if we can find anything worth looting. Let's reroll both of these, and then again our blessing will help us reroll that one. It's still not quite enough, unfortunately. That's a bit of a shame. Nothing of value.
And here is your reward, at least in potential.
Okay, so we can open this one. Hungry peasants. So we could give them all of our remaining food. I think I'm going to. It's risky, but it'll mean we've got enough... oh, we don't actually have enough fame yet. No problem. Let's go back here and then we'll worry about it later. So Ariadne leads you through the streets of the city to a dilapidated house tucked into a darkened alleyway. This is where we'll find the first thing we need to fix Anders' forge, a mechanical oddity. The inside of the house is distinctly tidier, and you are surprised by the presence of a small general store within. A young woman minds the counter. That's Marion the mage, Adrienne whispers loudly. Ariadne. Marion hears, of course. Can I help you? And could you please refrain from calling me a mage out loud? Don't worry, Marion. Ariadne booms. Only old biddies shopping here. We're here for that. She points at a large copper bauble studded with silvery knobs resting upon the counter. This is a genuine article of bygone dustman. It's priceless and I can't part with it. The mage hugs it to herself. See if we can persuade her. Let's ask Ariadne what to do. It's such a small thing. It'd be easy as squishing a gnat. I can still hear you, Marion sighs from behind the counter. Let's ask why she isn't in hiding. The Empire doesn't bother us out here in the slums, and I have a few magic potions that people appreciate, so they don't really care that I'm a mage. I've lived in the city since I was a child. It's my home. Marion the mage frowns. I deserve to live here as much as anyone else. Yeah, we're not disagreeing. Let's see if we can persuade her, and we'll use Ariadne to help with that. This one? No, that's a huge failure. Excellent. Ariadne slaps the mage hard across the face with her sizable hand, sending her sprawling on the ground. Though dizzied, she is still conscious and livid. Get out before I call the guards on you. Sigh. Okay, never mind, we'll try that another day.
Gasping with each step, hoping to survive. Find food if you can.
I don't need food, I need fame.
The Empire
That's the
runs
problem.
on its messages and its intrigues.
So we follow a trail of hearsay to the inn, to an inn in the town of Alderos. The barkeep introduces himself as Hervey and says, Father Galfrey, that's the head of the Thieves Guild, mentioned that you are a keen thief, so I have a lucrative proposition for you. We need to swap out a letter that a messenger is taking so that Hervey gets nominated as essentially mayor, I think. We'll bump into him. Ooh, that is going to be tricky. I think I'm going to wait for them to get out of sync so that even if we fail, we don't hugely fail. At least that's my plan. Ah, no, now we're out of sync with it. It's going to be tricky. Ooh, but we make it just about.
Breathe, you have done well.
Yes, we have. We pretend to trip into him and slip the scroll into the satchel. Completely oblivious, the messenger finishes his drink and continues on his way. Now we can wear our
Fame
pious
alone
robes.
has got you here. Let action carry you forward.
Hervey gives you a nod and says, "Here's your payment, as promised. I'm going to make a great reeve. I think I'll build a statue first." There we go. Get some gold. Get some more gold. But we don't get the token. Interesting. Perhaps we have to try the other option. There we go. Hungry peasants. Well, we can claim honestly that we've got no food, because we gave it all away. We could go forwards and straight to the next level, but we might as well explore these ones. It'll cost us 3 max health. And, you know, what's 3 max health between friends? Corpses. So we can follow the skeletons, and they drag a whole bunch of corpses up to an Eldritch rune in a stone circle, and then they vanish. What have we got here? More hungry peasants. Can honestly say that we've got no food again. And anything good here? Ah, shop. Okay, so we can buy some equipment at least, and possibly some food. Aha, so we found the Sapper's Bolt. What does this do? Aim a bolt that sticks to the first enemy it hits, detonates after a short delay and causes 40 damage to an area. That's pretty good. It's only got 10 uses, but still, that's pretty good. It's a shame we can't afford it. Band of Faith, Gambler's Jewel is always really good. Holy Mace would be really nice as well. Haven't seen much combat this time. I think we can only afford one of them. We already have a blessing that helps us with these challenges, but you know what? It never hurts to get more, and we're one step closer to unlocking that shard if we do. Can we buy a tiny bit of food just for a little bit of healing, and to prevent us losing any more max health? I think we will. And then we'll leave. It'd be really nice if we could get that Sapper's Crossbow though. That would be a pretty excellent weapon. Particularly in a huge group of skeletons. I think last time we were fighting something like 21 skeletons all in one go. Oh, like, potentially like this. So we've got the skeleton, I don't know, shield bearers or whatever they were called, and the one of skeletons, which looks really, really sad. Sad, lonely skeleton. Okay, here we go. Here's our questing mace. It's just a big old lump of iron. A simple weapon with a mighty fate. So I think if we defeat 15 enemies in a single challenge, then we unlock that token, which hopefully progresses us onto that quest. So undead don't count, so there's no point using an artifact here. So we'll just bop, 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 bop. And some more bopping. Wow, that's pretty spectacular. Pop you as well. Smash, smash. Easy peasy. Skeletons are no match for us. What's that one? That skeleton looks like it has eyeballs. That's creepy. Alright, on with the show. So we get some armor. Band of Faith.
The ring has been a symbol of faith since its earliest days.
So, less damage from undead, which, you know, is fine. We haven't really been taking much damage from the undead, but hey. So, some children try and steal our food, but we have no food. One drunken night, lovely. So we go out, we have far, far too much to drink, and we wake up in a dungeon full of traps and other horrible, nefarious devices. But on the plus side, like all good dungeons, it's full of gold and food for some reason. So let's see how far we can get through this without taking any damage. There we go. So I always hate the camera in this mode, and I always say such. So there we go. We can go that way or this way. I think I'm just going to go straight this way. Maybe we'll decide to sort of backtrack and get some of that extra food, just because. Because even though we're not, you know, losing huge amounts of health, it's sort of silly to lose max health if we can avoid it. So here we go. So is it worth going back this way? There was some gold over there, I think. But it's going to be really awkward to get around this. There we go, let's just wait for this one to flare up and then flare down. There we go, just get past that. Okay, come on, I know there's treasure somewhere down here. There we go. Just sort of grab that, grab that. Is there anything else? don't think there is. There might be off in that corner. I can't quite see. Nope, don't think so. Excellent, we'll just pop back this way then. Now the camera's in the right place for once. There we go. Oh, that was fairly easy. Do we want to bop back this way as well? I think there's some extra gold this way as well. Oh no, there's some extra food and gold this way. Alright, let's... might as well. See if we can. Oop. Crunch, okay, took a little bit of health there. But on the other hand, the food we get should hopefully heal us. That's the plan at least. There we go. Gold. Gold's always good. And some food, which I'm sure is perfectly fine after sitting in, you know, a musty old dungeon full of traps for forever. Unless somebody comes around and restocks this dungeon every now and then. I wouldn't like to have their job, that's for sure. There we go. Gold, gold, and out we go. Whew. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Alright, so how much food did we get after all? 6 food, 20 gold, and a little bit of fame as well, just because. And a half-eaten pasty, just for good measure. Okay, so we could journey forward straight away. I'm tempted to go back this way just because. This will potentially cost us all of our food if we find somebody who wants to steal it. Or we could find a general store like this, so we can buy some shiny equipment. If we could afford it, at least. But at least we can find out what the Gladiator's Visage does. So draw 1 food gain card after any combat in which you take less than 15 damage. That would be really, really good right now. First time you complete a combat unharmed, add a blessing to the map. To the map or to you? Interesting. It'd be interesting to see how that works. Does the blessing get adding to the map and then you sort of have to walk over it? That'd be quite cool. That would be a really nice thing to have. Oh, we'll hold off for now. But maybe we'll come back later. Ah, spider trap. No equipment, faction cards. That's a good point. Perhaps we... skeletons don't count as a faction, I guess. So we should probably take that out of our encounter deck.
Next time, bring more food.
No, we've got plenty of food. There we go. So we found the this person looking at the stars. The stars shine bright on this cold, frosty night. When you happen upon a balding man looking at the heavens through a spyglass, he doesn't look that balding. He rubs his hands together to keep warm. When he sees you approach, he stares over his spectacles and says, "If you have something to keep my ears warm, I will reveal to you your future." We'll give him our headgear for good. That was why I brought this battered helmet along. It's not really doing anything huge for us, so he can hang on to it. He puts the helm on and looks at the sky through the spyglass. All encounters are revealed. Not enough encounters revealed to unlock the shard. So that did absolutely nothing for us. So we gave up our helmet for no reason whatsoever there. That's really frustrating. But at least we know what that does and how we get the shard. So we've got to unlock or reveal a certain number of encounters. It'd be nice if it told us how much that was, but, you know, here we are. There we go. Hungry peasants. I'll give them my 1 food. And then claim we have no food. Oh, more ambushes, but that hopefully means more, just a tiny bit of food we'll get from defeating these. So we'll try not to take a huge amount of damage, and then we'll see where we end up. That's right, we've got our mace as well, so the more enemies we have... and in fact, now would be an excellent chance to use our artifact. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take out the shaman first, because otherwise they're going to heal, and that's going to make it a lot trickier. So we'll keep doing that. If you could kindly stop that. And then we'll try and get everyone else down to sort of, you know, relatively low health. And then we'll activate our artifact and try and finish them all off. You're quite strong. There we go, we'll sort of... So for once, spreading my damage out like this is actually quite good. Just do a little bit more damage like that, and then I think we'll activate it. So 1 defeated. 2 defeated. And can we get you as well? Yes, there we go. Easy peasy. So that's 3 extra food. Possibly not the you know, the greatest use of that artifact, but it's because it has got limited uses. But 3 food is 3 food. and we're going to have limited... oh, 2 food, I guess. We've got limited chances to actually use it. Oh, that's right, we gained some food just for that particular card anyway.
You have far more pride than the usurper ever did, but you reach far further than he did. Curious.
Toshers, eh? So a noxious smell alerts you to an oncoming group of Toshers, led by a short, stumpy woman with an eye patch. Eye Patch Eve, they call her, and although they dress in greasy drabs, her fingers are adorned with exquisite rings and their pockets are deep with gold. Look at this princess. I bet they've never done a day's dirty work, she sniggers. What do you say? Fancy eking out a bit of coin? Tides are coming. Better get in there quick, princess, says Eye Patch Eve, as one of her consorts lifts the lid off a manhole. As you and the Toshers come splashing down and your boots soak up the muck, you feel something at the bottom of the putrid subterranean river. Ooh. Do we want the Sapper's Bolt or the Holy Mace? That's the question. I think we go for the Sapper's Bolt because we're going to try and earn the token off our current mace. So even though this is better against skeletons, you know, this does 40 damage to everything in an area. That sounds pretty excellent. We'll try and go for that. So you plunge your hands into the rancid water and pull it out. And we've got enough blessings that hopefully we'll be just fine. There we go. Easy peasy. You fish out the trinket, doubtful it's worth such torment.
Such a sudden spread of firepower. One has to wonder what mind is at work.
The sewer walls tremble. Time to surface, she shouts as the Toshers lift themselves out of the gutter. So we get 2 fame and a token shard. That's a pretty good...
She smells death upon you. Death promised but not delivered. Death whose time has been delayed.
The sky is unnaturally dark as you approach the ruined graveyard. A cloaked figure stands amid the crumbling tombstones. Despite your stealthy approach, it turns to watch your arrival. The living have no place here, she rasps, the breath leaving her body with some effort. Though you will make fine source material for another minion. She raises her staff and undead rise from the ground. Oh wow, so we can't even backtrack and find out what's under those cards. Well, no problem. We have our Sapper's Crossbow equipped, which sounds like it's going to be perfect for this. I don't know how many enemies we've defeated. I have a feeling it may not be 15. Countess Athanasia. This necromancer turns the dead into tools of chaos and slaughter. Righto, well, do you know what we're going to do? Pow! Bop our way through all of these skeletons in line, just to make sure that we get credit for defeating them, because I'm not sure if they explode, we get credit for defeating them with that mace. So I'm just going to bop them all like this. I wonder if we get double credit for defeating them twice. Or maybe they don't count like some of the other things. And equally, I don't know if we get credit if Ariadne defeats them. But, might as well. We'll find out. There we go. Ooh, they're back. Keep on blocking. It would be excellent if they count twice, but I won't hold my breath. Still. Pow. Gonna keep summoning them, eh? Fair enough. I wonder if that means we get credit for all of those too. That would be quite nice. That'd be slightly cheesy, but you know, we'll see. That was quite a successful shot. Pow. So we can finish you off, but let's finish off these skeletons first with our explosive crossbow, because I'm enjoying using that. And then we'll finish you off with it too. So there we go. Aim and can't quite. There we go. Doesn't like the way I point my mouse. There we go. Pow! We explode you, and all of your skeletons explode as well. Nicely done. So it turns out just getting to the end of this is the hardest part, but once we got to the end, easy peasy. Now that we know we're not allowed to kill the villagers. And there we go, we did get the token for it as well.
Well done.
Ooh, and we get the token for the Sapper's Bolt. Perfect. Smoking ash is all that remains of the necromancer as you inspect the contents of the crypts. There you find letters written and signed with the Emperor's seal, each one calling for your death. What have you done to earn the Emperor's wrath? As if in answer, the voice of the hermit rings in your ears. It is not what you have done, but what you are yet to do. A powerful force presses against you, and every move takes you closer to the end of the game. You have few friends now. There we go.
This is what we seek to eradicate. These creeping horrors that stretch across our land.
Interesting, so I don't know why you would want to put the Wretched on a deck. I assume it costs us a bunch of food, maybe it gives us fame or something else. Thomas the Ogre is nice because it gives us up to 3 sort of trinkets or artifacts or things like that. And a mystery chest, everyone loves a mystery chest. We also get some more equipment, a whole bunch. Probably fairly situational, but we'll have a look through and see what it is. And for avoiding any unnecessary villager deaths, we get Kolbjorn's traps. Interesting, so we'll see what they do for us as well. So this is for the quest. We now get the questing mace too, so presumably we have to kill a bunch more things. And for sabotaging your foes with the sapper's bolts, we get the frost bolts. Excellent, so maybe we'll take those with us next time. There we go. That was a fairly short run, but it makes up for some of the ones that have been extremely long so far, and it means that next time it looks like we're up against the devil. So that is certainly something to look forward to. I will see you then. Bye-bye.